Welcome back, everybody, to Fresh Outlook. It is time for the lightning round when we explore some of the week's big stories in lightning fast fashion. Let's say hello to Bart Rossi, political psychologist, Tom Gagliano, author of Don't Put Your Crap in Your Kid's Diaper, Bill Rosenberg, professor extraordinaire of political science at Drexel University. We'll start with a serious topic, so I'll change my tone as I look down. No, but September 11th happened yesterday, 14 years, it's the anniversary. I watched the Fox News special on it, which was basically just actuarial clips from that day. It's still horrifying to me, and I don't know, what are your thoughts when you look back on September 11th?
I think about how it changed the country. I think it has had an impact. It's made us all different. We're much more hyper-vigilant about our surroundings. We're a little bit more anxious as Americans, and we ought to be. And it also makes us feel very fragile. And I think it did have an effect on the psyche of the country, and it's still there.
We've risen from the ashes, another tower, the Freedom Tower. I look at it, Tom, and I'm like, not so great. But then again, I also look back to the 70s when the World Trade Center was built and people are like, not that great. Sometimes things take time to grow on you. What are your thoughts about the Freedom Tower rising from the ashes?
Well, I think that in these devastations, miracles do occur. I think it changed our country, especially people that had loved ones that were lost there. But I think that it brings us together in a way. I think grandparents, parents, children, when this happened, started to refocus on family values much more than they did before this. What I always think when I see the Freedom Tower is I think of heroes, policemen, firemen that became heroes during that time period. And I think we need heroes. I think that's an important part for all of us. So that's the feeling I get. It's just that feeling of just how much it brought our country together in that devastation.
Bill, I'm still angry about this. I'm angry that all those people died. I'm angry every time I have to take off my shoes and belt at the airport and being treated like I'm a criminal because these creeps had to kill 3,000 Americans.
Well, two things. One is I think this is an incident that everyone that was alive that day remembers exactly where they were when this happened. The second thing, which is kind of an unpopular thing to say, but I'll say it for you, is that it's an incident that showed that bin Laden won, okay? He's dead. His group, his particular segment is no longer so active. But he won. He changed the nature of how we have to behave, how we act in our world today, how we travel, how we think about our safety and our security. And that terrorism that he instilled through his actors on that day is still present today.
I agree with you. It might be a controversial statement, but he, if not one, achieved his goal of disrupting America greatly, killing a lot of Americans.
I'm not saying it was a good thing.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. No. Like I said, I agree with you. I wouldn't agree with you if I thought it was a bad thing. Stephen Colbert. Let's go to a lighter topic. New late night talk show host. Haven't seen him yet. Didn't watch him when he did the Colbert Report, but I have seen clips on TV because you can't miss him. Bart, I'll start with you. Any thoughts on the guy who's not Johnny Carson?
No, but I think he's got a unique personality and he has a way of presenting things. I think he's going to be very successful.
Tom Gagliano.
It'll be interesting to see how he handles the nighttime audience. This is a different audience than Comedy Central, and I think in a few months it just will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Bill.
I think we have to think about him as being one of the key players in the whole creation of what's called soft news. Young people in particular watched his show before, watched The Daily Show, and that's how they learned about what was going on in the world. So it's through entertainment that they were getting an appreciation for the world. And I think that's one of the great virtues that people like he and Jon Stewart have.
I agree. As our brains get softer, we need softer news. Absolutely. But I'll say, in his benefit, some of the best interviews I've seen so far with Trump and with Jeb Bush have been on the Stephen Colbert Show. So like we try to do on this program, humor sometimes does bring out the best in people. Trump in the Fiorina issue. Let's turn topics a little bit. Donald Trump basically said she's too ugly to be elected president. Are we treating him harsh because he insulted a woman? I mean, we make fun of Trump all the time. Every week I make fun of Trump's hair. I mean, if I call Carly Fiorina ugly, I'm a bigger jerk than just making fun of Trump's hair?
It's who he is. That's what he's all about. He can insult anybody, and if people want to go along with that, if that's part of what they identify with, that's okay. That's who he is, and he's done it again. He's shown who he is, and he's got to be judged by that.
The judgment seems to be good, though, Tom, because women are supporting him in greater and greater numbers. Because I'll tell you this, a dirty little secret is you've got an elite group of people who sit around in newsrooms and make decisions and say, people are up in arms about this. They're not. The people in the newsroom are up in arms about this. The actual rank and file people don't care about many, many things. I go out and do interviews with them all the time. We call it MOS, Man on the Street. Tell me about Trump insulting Carly Fiorina, will you? And they'll be like, first, they won't know who they are other than Donald Trump. And second, they won't care. What are your thoughts?
Obviously, he acts like an obnoxious little child, but here's the point. The point is, what do all candidates have in common? They want to win a candidacy, all right? What are the polls telling him? They're telling him, act like an obnoxious child. We love it. So I have a problem blaming him because he's doing, maybe you don't agree with what he's doing, but the polls are showing they like what he's doing. And that's what they all want. They want that reflected in the polls. So he's doing what they're telling him.
I'm gonna make a first here.
Okay.
I'm gonna suggest that Donald Trump is the Don Rickles of today. Okay, he goes out there, and younger audiences may not recognize this, but all he does is insult, and as he insults, people laugh. But ultimately, I really question whether or not the public is going to pull the lever in a general election for Donald Trump. You have a core group of people that is about 30% right now that's in support of him, largely former Sarah Palin supporters. And you got to realize that if it's Trump versus somebody else in the Republican Party, it's 30 versus 70. So he's the big name, he's the big attraction, he's the big, we're going to have a lot of fun, which is really appealing at this stage, months before the first primary. But I don't know that they're going to want to have him elected as president of the United States.
Let's go from one media circus to the next. Kim Davis, the county clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to gay couples. Dr. Rossi.
As a psychologist, I say this. Suppose I'm a Palestinian American and my religious view is that I don't want to serve a Jew. Suppose I was born in the South. My religious view is that blacks are inferior. I shouldn't serve blacks, or I shouldn't give them a marriage license. It's part of my religion. This is not about religious freedom. Huckabee and everybody else in the GOP have it dead wrong. It's about religious oppression. She wants to bash gays. She doesn't believe in it. She doesn't have to believe in gay marriage. We're not saying she has to believe in gay marriage. She just has to issue a license so people can go on and do what they want to do with their lives. And she is so wrong, and she's got her 15 minutes of fame here going in the wrong direction. I think it's outrageous, and they should keep her in jail as far as I'm concerned.
And she has a losing personality.
She does.
Okay. Tom Gagliano, your thoughts quickly.
Well, I think as parents, we have to teach our children that if you choose to break the law, you choose to have the consequences that go with that. And I think she needs the consequences that go with that. Historically, we have accommodated people at times who have different beliefs, and maybe you could put her in a different department where she doesn't have to sign a name to something. I mean, again, it's a choice you could make, but we have to know that choices demand consequences, and I think that's an important point in this too.
Okay, Bill Rosenberg, I'm going to give you final thoughts on Kim Davis.
The reality is she was elected to public office. Part of that office said she had certain responsibilities. If she doesn't want to fulfill those responsibilities as stated by the law, she needs to resign. That's that simple.
Sounds good. I don't have a dog in that fight. I kind of agree with the panel, so I'll leave it at that. Congratulations, by the way, to our Fresh Outlook team. We are nominated for an Emmy Award for the season. That ceremony takes place next week. Fingers crossed that you see us posed like this with an Emmy statue next week. Thanks to Bart Rossi, Tom Gagliano, Bill Rosenberg. Ebru's TV talk show Fresh Outlook is over now. Go about your weekend. We hope you kept your outlook fresh and informed. I'm Logan Crawford. Thanks for joining us.